Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good morning, this is Elevate Television Wednesday Morning Digest, and I am your host Moses Muiruri, and today is another day. I tell you, if you're not ready for today, get ready, because we're about to talk about what everybody wants to hear about. But before we do that, this is our drill. Take the link, it's already out on Facebook and on YouTube, and you can share it on your WhatsApp groups, share it on your timeline, share it on your status, share it with all your friends. We are talking about content today. Today is going to be an amazing day for you. I tell you, if you've not been blessed already, we are going to ensure that you are. Now, I want to encourage you, if you have not liked our page, Elevate TV Kenya, and Facebook, Instagram, please do that so that we can send you every content that is coming on, and you are actually going to be the first person to know that it is on air. Please do that. And remember this, we have an Elevate TV app. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You can download it and you can watch Elevate wherever you are. Wherever you are globally, and you can send it to your friends all over the world. Remember, Elevate is here to create content that is transformative content that is going to be of a blessing to you. Now, if you've done that, remember that to call a friend. Remember, a friend, if he's your friend or she's your friend, let them hear something that will change their lives. Some people don't need money. Some people don't need, they don't need the kind of help people talk about here. All they need is to hear something fresh, and their lives will transform completely. Wow. Welcome, and we are ready. My guest is in the house today, Mburu. Karibu sana. I mean, your credentials are so many, I will not mention them today.
Asante sana.
Welcome. This is your first time on Elevate?
Yes, please.
And I tell you how people meet.
Thank you.
I tell you, that's a story for another day. Let's look at the camera, introduce yourself, and let's kick off.
Thank you very much. I'm Mburu. I'm happy to be here. Moses is my friend. We have been meeting in other gatherings, like he has said. We'll talk about that on another day. I am a born-again Christian. I'm a teacher and a writer. Yes, please.
Wow. They are teachers, they are lecturers, they are professors.
I'm a trained teacher. I know. So I'd say that then there are other labels that we add. I did education, then I ended up teaching at the university. Even now I'm teaching at the university as an adjunct faculty.
Okay.
I have a passion for teaching, sharing information, and writing.
I tell you that you don't have to say it. Thank you. It just oozes out of you.
Thank you.
You are so do you know the first time I met you?
Please. Yes.
You are very keen to make me understand something. Very keen. I noted that. And I said, okay, right, no problem.
Yes, thank you, Moses.
Well, our topic today is transformative content.
Yes.
And we are going to approach our content from a Christian perspective, because we are a Christian broadcast, a broadcast network.
Yes.
And also we believe that content is not just content.
No.
They say content is king, but I think there is what we call, I believe there are categories of content. There's content that builds, there's content that destroys, there's content that is out there. And I want you to speak into it just before we get into it.
Thank you very much. This issue of content is big, especially for us in Kenya. This is the time people are getting into content creation. A few years back, that was unheard of.
It was unheard of.
There are people who are opting out of famous careers, law, medicine, to go into content creation. Again, you see this heavy investment worldwide, even in generative AI, again because of content. Now we realize not all content, like you said, is constructive. So one thing as a Christian, we are called to create content that gives life. I mean, content that says yes, content that gives hope, and content that will transform. I mean, we are just asked to, are we able to see
our content is redemptive.
Thank you. Yes, it ought to be.
Yes.
And one way of doing that is just to make sure Jesus is our main audience, and we allow him to be a participant right from the beginning. of the idea, walk with him in the process. That way you know your content is. So you're allowing Jesus to be Lord. To the extent that you could be writing a book, let's just say a book or a movie, something that is intensive. But you get to the end, and if it tells you do not publish it, you'll obey. Okay. You might throw tantrums a bit. Yeah. You know, will not be asked to go and sacrifice our children like Abraham because we know the answer. But once in a while, we may be asked that thing about content, and they might want to test you.
Let me ask you, Martin.
Yes, please.
Because when you talk about content, and I don't want us to be just one-sided.
Yes, please.
Let's talk about content, because we live in a world where there are real people.
Yes.
People who have needs.
Yes.
People who need a lot of different kind of,
content.
Assistance, content, and help.
Yes.
I'm a Christian.
Yes, please.
And I want to create content. Number one, that is, my goal is, first of all, it must be building, it must be constructive, it must be, strengthening.
Yes.
But also, we are now living in the days of content that pays.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
How do you look at it? Because you may end up being told you are preachy.
Wow, I know, and even when people, before they know the meaning of that, sometimes they'll throw it at you that you're preaching. We have a duty. Like, let's say even go back, you said, right now, we cannot choose our audience and say we are limiting it to Christians. And this world belongs to God. He's sovereign. So the issue of creating content, and there are all these opportunities. Anyone, maybe even a kid, having an access to a gadget produces content. So the issue is we are called to create an alternative. It's one thing to keep on saying this content is not good, but it's another to provide a solution. Now, this bit of monetizing and the bit of maybe gaining from your content, again, I want to say it's a tricky thing. I've been involved in training many Christians, many people, and one thing I have learned, are you going to allow God to be your provider? Because God can provide for you in very many ways. You could do something for free. Like an example, we were just talking, we were in a gathering which we'll talk about one day, and I just felt upon just to share something that I know, and I know it's the truth. It would encourage or maybe solve a problem and see what happened. See, God has opened doors for us in different ways. If you may allow, let me also say, it may not be popular. Many of the things that have happened in my life, and I believe when I talk about transformative content, I also maybe have to share, give a testimony of it. I never went directly out of it. Like my first book, my first story, I had not planned to publish. Someone saw me and told me, Martin, just write some story. Took it to the editor, and because it was being part of a book, the editor asked, we are not paying, but we can acknowledge. Then he asked, who is this Martin? Go and tell Martin to write a play. From there, now the journey opened.
Wow.
How I became, I would say, Christian creative, it's also a long journey. I was meeting a young man.
Let's not go there because sometimes I think we have entered, when you're eating, they say you are eating
I should warn you, I'm a storyteller.
The head.
I'm a storyteller. I go back and forth.
You're a good storyteller.
Thank you.
Let's just begin it from a very basic point of view.
Yes, please.
And because sometimes we have, there's something I believe in. We use words sometimes, and we don't understand what these words mean.
Yes, yes.
Content. What is content?
Yes.
Number two, what is transformative content? What would you you call? Because you're a linguistic teacher.
Yes.
You're a person who is training content creators.
Yeah.
So, what is content, and what is transformative content?
Yes. I would say content now has been, in a narrow way, like something that is on the website.
Okay.
Any information on the website. It can be audio, it can be text, and all that. But now, when you look at it in a broad way, we are extending it even to, we are creating content here. So you can classify it as either audio, written, media, combining all those things. Yes. That's information. Yes.
That means, right from many years ago, we have just been creating content, because history is content.
Thank you. We have. Do you know, it's just the name that is new. Content creation, but we have been creating content. And one way of testing that, because human beings we have not changed. The essence, the physical, the spiritual has not changed. We grow and discover something new about ourselves. But our essence, you see, like that one person hears with the eye and the other one sees with the nose. As long as the elements of receiving content have not changed. So those things have been there.
Yeah, and I think the advent of what we call online space is what basically has brought up that new phrase. But I mean, we had storybooks. We had story moments.
Information.
We had, I mean, we've been in a content world.
Exactly. It's now maybe you are getting to understand more of it and how to monetize it. And how to previously things that, I don't know you as you go to Transformative, the people, you ask a question.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, no, you need to, that's consultancy. I'm not going to share with you that information for free. And you go back 5 years back, you're like, this information was free. Phone call and such. So now, the bit of, now we say that especially because of online space, there is a lot of content. It's a good thing, it's a bad thing. It's a good thing because even from those ages we are talking about, it means there were gatekeepers. People would control the content that will get to the people. Now, some of those barriers have been removed. Now, the problem is that we are getting all manner of content. So it's a good thing that people can produce. It's a bad thing that all manner of content all goes out there.
Does that mean, what would you say right now that you've already mentioned that, so we don't come back to it?
Yes.
Bad content is on the air.
Yes.
Regulation.
A bit of it regulation, but a bit of it is ethics. It's values.
Ethics,
a bit of values. Because like you said, sometimes, even among Christians, there are things people don't agree on in terms of content. I've been in places where you're teaching people like, this is too spiritual. If I can tweak, no. I know the bit of content, I got the idea and such, but I'm unable to see how Jesus can help me make money from my content. How to brand, how to market. So at that level, it's about conviction. It's not whether it is good or bad. It's about, yes, there is a government regulation, but like you know, there are times, there are things, it just up upon us, by the way.
I want to get into something, Martin.
And
you know, there are thoughts that are moving in my mind, and I'm just wondering. I think we've been living in a very interesting world. Content.
Yes.
We are talking about content that is transformative.
Yes.
In your own description.
Yes.
In your own description, you've said something very, 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 very pertinent. Values.
Yes.
That if you're going to create the content that is coming out is actually a depiction of values.
Yes. Where you stand, who you are. Actually, identity is also a key of this.
So now, actually, the content we are seeing is
some of it just actually even the Bible says it, out of the fullness of the heart. Now, some people are paid to endorse things, so their beliefs are not there. So I guess when you go back, maybe I go back to the bit of what would I consider as transformative, then we come back to this.
I want to tell you something.
Yes, please.
Values. I want to finish on values.
Yes.
I remember when this issue of content began to become very, 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 you know, it's being seen.
Seen, accepted.
I remember a very, very, very gospel singer I really liked.
Yes.
That gospel singer, it was during the time of Tusker Project fame. A very, very, very prominent gospel singer then.
Yes.
Well, she's no longer in the limelight.
Yeah.
Was given to become an endorsing brand ambassador to an alcoholic drink.
Yes.
And I sat with her personally.
Yes.
I sat with her. I'm not talking about something I had. I sat with her. So I asked, what will you do?
This? Yes.
The answer she gave me came back to those values.
Wow. Wow.
She gave me an answer, and I said, surely, either, so we've done our values, because these people came, she didn't say no, she actually accepted, signed a whole 1-year contract to be going around the nation in East Africa endorsing an alcoholic drink and singing her songs. And that was the end of it.
It's unfortunate, maybe because you see, maybe even the career tanked. Even as you speak, we have to be very strong on values and train people on all these aspects. Sometimes we focus on content at the expense of the content creator.
Oh my, say that again.
So yes, the approach I have, I know it's not popular. You know,
Content at the expense of the creator.
Yes, yes.
So
Because
the
you also have to-
values, a
yes.
person.
And what is this content doing to you? What is this content doing to you?
As a creator.
As a creator. Yes.
Amazing. We will not mention names.
No, we will not. It's not good. In fact, one of the things we need to
They are
say,
flooding
I've
in my
learned,
mind.
they need to flood, and it's good. We look at the pattern.
Yes.
Because in God's kingdom, God can reveal to you one thing about a person. And I learned this through experience. So don't focus on X, Y, Z, but focus on that pattern.
Okay.
This is what is happening in the body of Christ. So one thing is also, we are called to pray. Like now, I guess, as you are called into this area, content creation, as you want to make it to know what happened, it's also good to intercede. Just pray about those who have walked ahead and such. Then,
Give me something, eh?
Yes,
because we don't have a lot of time, and we have to help someone. Give me in your own professional outlook. Eh?
Yes.
What are the key components that I would need to create transformative content, or to have control, or what do you see as key components that would make up transformative content?
Thank you. Let me see, 4. First of all, like we said, let it be content that redeems.
Okay, redemptive.
And if the things that I've been working on, that you can trace a continuum, you might not always tell someone. You can encourage someone that you will make it. But those are not just the empty words. They could be the spirit. So it points to the cross. Number 2, holistic content.
Holistic.
And the approach here is content that acknowledges who human beings are. The identity of a human being is we have a spirit, we have a soul, we have a body.
Yeah.
You might see sometimes the content that excites the body and the spirit, inspire, might not have a lasting impression. Transformative content needs sometimes to talk even to the spirit. I mean, if you rank them, it's the spirit, soul, and body. And then give it time. Yes.
Okay.
So that's number 2.
Number 2.
Number 3, is this content transforming you as a content creator?
Transforming, yes.
Yes. I mean, if you're telling people I'm creating transformative content, let it transform you. And perhaps this would even involve like keeping a journal of your journey. We will come maybe into the craft of creating content, which is good, because if you're going to create transformative content, that assumes there is content that is not transformative.
Yes.
There is content that is otherwise.
Yes.
And with where we are right now, with the knowledge, the resources that we have in the 21st century, we don't have to even talk about that content. We can just offer our alternatives, create our transformative content. Then somewhere along the line, people will see the difference. So understand what this content is, what the process is.
Okay.
And then make sure you're transformative in your process. Because like you said about this musician, you can be let down by one minor thing. And so like you can create transformative content, but then you're packaging it in the old ways.
Packaging, so we come into packaging now.
Packaging, how either you present it, the process. Maybe even the people you work with.
Okay.
They don't understand that this transformative content.
We normally say even the channel of...
the channel, yes.
Of
yes. Branding.
Disbursement, branding.
It has to be transformative.
It has to be transformative in its nature.
So you see.
So those 4 things are key.
Those are 3. The last one, those are 3. The 4th one, now be deliberate. That this content will transform the lives of the audience.
Okay.
So the first 2 are like you are writing, you're creating the content, but who is the audience? Who is the listener? Who is the Now, there's something here we need to know. We live in a world where, although you are the content creator, we sort of create content that forces the listener to always be the listeners. Let's forget this issue of social media of followers, but there's this one of I'm the writer, I'm the storyteller. So I'm telling a story, tomorrow be here. So the content we create is based on that. So I create, you buy, you consume. However, good content ought to help people to create their content, or also to realize to transform their lives.
Tell me about
Yes.
those 4 things you mentioned.
Yes.
I have not had you mention on creativity. Because now I think we need to talk about creativity.
Thank you. I didn't talk about that. I'm thinking, this is what you even said, like you said, the channel. This is, we are regarding what's the purpose of the content. Creativity is at the heart of this.
Yes.
It's actually, creativity is at the heart of this. My approach to creativity, it's part of human identity. We were called
Come again?
to create.
I think,
My approach to creativity,
uh-huh.
it's part of human identity.
Yes.
We ought to be creative. Now, there are those people who will celebrate as creative, call them creatives, call them artists, but in whatever area, even you when you are here, you're called to be creative in how you do things. When I'm teaching, when I wear that cap as a lecturer, I'm called to be a creative.
Yes.
But then there are those we celebrate as creatives. So creative is at the heart of it. And we need to demystify and know that we are expected to be creative.
There are people who claim, because I'm creative, you know, the fact that I'm a comedian,
Yes.
or the fact that I make people laugh,
Yes.
that's enough. That's enough reason but that's enough reason to create content.
No. And sorry, without busting anyone's there's some people who are not creative, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And we celebrate them because all they do, they copy and paste. It's a popular term. They are pattern multipliers.
Yes.
You know, something happens in a different part of the country, you copy and paste it. But you're talking about authentic part of we talk about values, who are you, identity, and if you talked about your creative process, where it's not copy and paste.
So when you're creating your content, you need to take in consideration those 4 key things.
Yes.
There's something about because again, you are accountable for your content. You can't run away from it.
No.
You will not run away. You know, the beauty about content, it has someone attached to it.
Yes.
Talk to me about most of this content we are seeing is not lasting.
Yes.
Is not taking, you know, there are people who have created content for quite a long time, and actually you can even actually see continuity. But then we have seen people who have come and hit the what you call the content market, creation market, and they have left.
Wow. I guess it's what is success? How do you measure the success of content? And how do you measure the success of the content creator?
I want you to address the problem.
Yes.
Why is it not lasting? And the other one, you know, it's like what we call the old one, the old wisdom.
Okay.
People found it.
Yes.
They've hit, but then it has been left running. It's still running. What
happened? You know, back then, the avenues for content creation were for those people who are talented and people who are called into that area. And you would realize even many of them were not making a lot of money.
Yes.
So their avenues opened, so you have everyone coming on board. Yes. Even those who, bad word to use, but let's use it, vanity. There are people who create content, maybe because they are bored, but they have the resources to create content and like bring it into your face. So you just have to buy it. So we have a lot of content, and you have a lot of content creators, but in other words, they're not professionals. That's why you find the one that was created by professionals, the books written by professionals, the music released by professionals, the videos. Yes. I do that sometimes even I find myself watching old movies. But now the avenues have opened and everyone is flooding the market with content.
Is it because those who then they were following a vocation, or number two, what would you say about the place of research in ensuring continuity?
It is there, place of research, find out what has been done, what is happening, what you would want to do. It is there, like doing your homework, let's say that. But do you know, even before you come to the place of research, the place of fame, this issue of fame, this issue of cameras, it's what is messing people.
Celebrity, my brother.
I know. That celebrity culture is what is causing us, because people will do anything to be popular for a minute.
I tell you.
And the challenge, if I now, let's bring the issue of a creative. There's already a challenge of defining success for creatives. Because unlike other areas, creatives have 2 ways of being measured in their what they think of themselves. And what, let's say my fans, what they think of them.
My fans.
And that is what causes the trouble. I want to do this because of my fun. I have shared with, because I've had a chance to talk with young men, and one of them, in fact on Monday, shared, it was in a presentation, said, he writes music, gospel music and such. He's known. But this is what he told us, because we were 40 of us, it was public, and he told us, he misses the days when he was not like known. He would write for himself, he felt fulfillment. But now he feels a bit trapped, because there are people telling him, do this, do that.
Write for
do
me
that.
this song.
Yes, and this is what sells. This is what will trend, and such things. So now,
so basically, and I want to talk about content in a way that transformative content,
yes,
because music is content.
music is content.
Art is content. Plays, drama, acting. Before we even
Blogs,
podcasts,
we have
vlogs, and all that.
Mimes, all those.
It seems
Yeah.
those who succeeded, and even when they are gone, you see, I'll mention a name that is not very Christian for you, Fela Kuti.
I know. I listen.
Fela Kuti
Yes.
is one of Nigeria's most transformative, in the old days.
Yes.
He sang songs. We have Ngugi wa Thiong'o.
Yes.
In Kenya here. We have people like Wangari Maathai.
Yes.
We had people like poets who
Yes.
literally were bringing in. Of course, they were in what you would term a civil society.
Yeah.
But you see, they were for a cause.
Do you know? I get what you say. Back then, even you, had you said you want to pursue a writing career, music, 20, 30 years ago, just imagine, or even your children, what would you have told them?
You'd have told them you're joking with me.
So, yes. And those people, like Ngugi, is heavy on ideology. So, like we said, they were called, they were determined. I can even tell you, it's been not easy for me. I told you the first time I got something published.
Yes.
When I had my first blog, 2012, 2013, lecturers don't have blogs. So it's the good thing is now as we understand content, it's also helping us to lift those mental blocks of what content is.
Yes.
However, we need to train people.
Yes.
Because again, when it comes to content, culture, it's hard sometimes to convince people that authentic content, Kenyan content, can stand on its own.
Wow.
In Nigeria, it's good you mentioned, they don't even try to speak like, they speak with their accent. And those people are celebrated even elsewhere. They're proud of their identity. Sometimes that fails to come out for us in our content.
I think one of the things I find is that we don't celebrate our own content, and we are too external, not internal. And Kenya has great content.
We don't celebrate it. We don't. People, it is true. And when you get to the gatekeepers at some point, they will tell you this is what sells. Change it. This is what. Then the world out there is looking for that Kenyan authentic voice, Kenyan authentic content. Yes.
I remember one time I'm looking at the people who are watching.
Okay. Yes, please.
And it's amazing to just see what's going on.
Yes.
I was in a meeting.
Yeah.
And it was a Kenyan meeting, and there were externals who had come into the country. And so when people were there, the people they were conducting the meeting in English.
In English.
They sang the national anthem in English.
In English.
They did a lot of English until one of those people stood up and said, "We came to Kenya to hear Swahili, to hear you talking mother tongue.
Yeah.
We don't mind a translator.
Yeah.
But we want to hear
you speaking there.
You speaking.
I know that's debatable. I know even Ngugi writing in his books. I have had those conversations.
Let me do this, Martin. I'll cut you off.
Yes, please.
But when we come back,
yes,
I want us to talk about the craft of content
creation.
Yes.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you very much.
While we come for a break, remember this. If you want to create content, please tune in and call your friends. Let's be on this. Martin is in the house. See you after the break. Thank you.
In Pillars of Faith.
These truths that we bring out every week around the Word of God, they are meant to strengthen our faith.
Time is a consequence of light. The light you have will inform the time you'll be in.
We seek to fulfill the mandate of the Great Commission.
The purpose of God for believers is for formation of sons.
What are the pillars that we need in our lives?
Bearing fruit is spiritual maturity.
Yeah.
You cannot bear fruit if you're not mature.
That is our agenda, motivation and intention.
Introduce Jesus into the matter,
Yeah.
and your times and seasons will shift.
Pillars of Faith, every Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Welcome back. I hope you had a chance to to just share this this link to somebody else. Please share it. I want to give you a chance. Please share this. Don't share it after, share it now, because this is an opportunity you can ask a question. Martin.
Yes, please.
We are talking about content.
Yes.
I want us to be very practical.
Yeah.
The craft of creating transformative content.
Wow.
The craft. And I want you to take that up. When you sit with your student,
yes,
and you're teaching content creation, what is a craft? What do you look for? How do you begin that craft, that thing?
Thank you. Wow. Yes, this is what, yes, because by the end of the day, how do I make content?
Yes.
First, just to understand the general process, I guess, for all areas of content.
Yeah.
And I want to make it very simple.
Please do.
There are two areas. There is the creating process, like where you get the idea, and then there's I want to call it the evaluating process, where the creating, we want to say, create with your heart. You use the creative side of the brain, so imagination. Forget all the noises, put whatever on paper, put whatever, it's a video and such. The evaluating is where now you come back to consider, is this good? And it's almost like when the person who painted came and looked and said, this is what I set out to do, this is what I'm doing, this is what I did. If it is not right, go back. If it's right, then you can share it. Now, in the creating process, now for now, let me just talk about writing. Although a bit of what I've seen, we also have to understand a bit. I like to look at it as there's creativity. There's a creative, call it a creative spirit, creativity, human creativity.
Yes.
Then there are different expressions.
You know how me I look at creativity?
Please tell me.
God is a creator.
Oh, yes.
God is in you.
I'm creating God's image.
I carry that creative genius.
Thank you. Then there are different expressions.
Yes.
So that is the common one. So someone can write a song, someone can write, someone can dance, someone can act. We are seeing all forms. So those are the expressions. So now, how do you, once you decide, this is how I want to express my content, this is how I want to present my content. So for today, let's just take like writing. I'm a writer, I'm a storyteller. I blog, all of them, it's about writing. So like I said, if you divide this process into two, there's a creating process. So go there and write.
Yes.
And perhaps I want to say, when you're writing, just think about your content.
Okay.
Just focus on that. Focus on your content. Don't even think about how to present it. Just focus on your content. Let's agree there are three main things here. There is the content, there is the writer, there is the audience.
Yes.
We have, the metrics we have out here focus so much on the audience.
Wow.
However, I belong to a school of thought that says the audience does not know what they want until they see it. It's a book I read. I like that. Even
the audience doesn't know what they want until they see it.
Yes. Sometimes you want to engage them as involving, but they don't.
They don't.
And Steve Jobs, they're not very popular. I think Steve Jobs said he does not believe in market survey. But in your quiet place,
I like that radical view.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But now for it to work, it's you close, and it's even quiet, where it's you and your content.
Okay.
And
so focus on the content.
Create it, right? And when you are there, you know, when all these other noises are out, you'll be authentic.
Listener, viewer, listen. We are talking about the craft of creating this content. So we are the first point again now. This one, don't miss it. Concentrate on the content.
Concentrate on the quiet content in the quiet.
In the quiet.
Yes.
Wow.
Make your content. Take time. Avoid things that can bring pressure. It could even be a teacher who told you you're not good at this. Could even be a parent. Because when those noises come, sometimes they will be like, let me prove to them I can do it.
Yeah.
It will affect.
It will affect.
Can I say the authenticity or the fidelity of the content of the
so
story.
You're actually going into the other side. What affects the fidelity of content creation? So it's those.
And it is not time.
Yes.
There will be time for that.
Yes.
Actually, the people who, if I don't know, who make sugar, they cannot be thinking about packaging it when they are making it.
What a way.
And you know, you can actually hire, and God wants us to work with other people to help you. But that can only happen when you have. Now, a few things that may help is...
So concentrate on the content.
Yes, in the quiet. Draw a line. Sometimes this period can last. Just
you know, most creatives, I hear they work a lot at the wee hours of the night.
When it is quiet.
When even the dogs cannot bark.
Yes. Now, we'll go into another area of coaching creatives. I have learned, sometimes we don't even know which idea will work. So what you do is, of course, we're told to, whatever we do it as if we are doing for the Lord. So there are things you can say, okay, I'm creating content, I'm blocking to write. But I can take a break to go and do dishes.
Yes.
That break can refresh your mind. So even as you're doing that, have your journal. Just see, you may get thoughts and ideas that will help you with your content.
Okay.
I have studied many writers, movie makers and such people. They're writing their creative process. And you see that bit of breaking. That's like a whole lesson on creativity.
Breaking is a lesson.
Yes.
You know, my leader tells me, and he always keeps saying this, just taking tea together is enough to refresh you and strengthen you so much. You'll be amazed.
Moses, it is true. There are people who even just send a message, hi. It is enough even to remind you what you are meant to do.
Wow. So we are the first point, quiet. Number
two,
let's move.
Yes, create it. And now, once you're finished, now you can move to the other stages of you're revising it. So we're saying, if you mix it, when I teach writing, we say, the problem comes when you're writing and revising. You will not write. You just have to separate this. And even biblical, that's what God did. So God created,
create first,
then evaluate, come and revise.
Okay.
And now that's where you can consider, how am I going to present this content?
Okay.
Did it meet the objective? Do remember, you're the one who went to create, unless perhaps somebody commissioned you. But let's say when you have created, you're the one who is going to determine whether this content has met the objective. How am I going to present it?
Okay.
And that's important so that if, like, you are going, it's a book or a video, now you're going to meet the other people, producers and other people. How do you know they have bought into the vision?
You know what I'm thinking? You know, me, I think as I listen.
I like this. I've seen it. You know,
I'm thinking and I'm listening, and then I say, there's no place of copying content, because I mean, it would be very lazy for some. No wonder it's called plagiarism.
It is called plagiarism.
If I've put that kind of sitting, listening quietly and create my content, you know, in art we say, the artist is seen in the art, in the artwork.
Yes.
Why you buy Mozart is because you can see Mozart. He's dead, but when you listen to the music, you can know that's Mozart.
Yes.
When you look at
and if you
even Mona Lisa, they say the Mona Lisa or all these things, you can see the artist, and you cannot copy his authenticity.
Yes. But you'll be surprised, Moses.
Yeah.
When you said, and I believe, I'm glad in Kenya we are at a very golden opportunity. Our content has shown, like our movie industries have not, we are at a golden opportunity to shine. You'll be so surprised. There are forces around that believe content must look like those forms. When Da Vinci Code, when he published that book, all the other books were like that. Harry Potter, all the publishers were going for that. Movies, you make a certain movie and the ratings are good. Everyone wants to make like that. So there's a lie about the limitation of human creativity. Okay. And there are people who think they are not creative. So you have to teach people, when you say everyone is creative, so that's something we have to teach and encourage people on. Yes.
Wow.
It's
just mind blowing listening to you.
Do you know? It's just, thank you, Moses. I mean, let me tell you. I started my journey of a story for another day because I thought we had published some books. Then a friend from America gave me ebooks over 2000. That's 2010. And I was just so happy. And he told me, you're not even finished reading this book. So, but I found myself looking at, there's a term they have for it, like the design of the books.
Yes.
And around that time, we were into information technology, knowledge management, and so on. So I went to the publisher, and we asked the publisher, I know I've published books with you. I feel we can make them better.
Yes.
The person told me, no, we are not changing our books. They must look like the books of another publishing firm.
Wow. We talked about being able to look at your content, consider it quietly and be able to, edit it,
yes,
and then think about the packaging.
Yes.
What do you say about audience? Where does the audience now come in? Because we have, you talk like Steve Jobs. There's this big statement, who is your target audience?
I know. It's a question.
It's like you have to create an audience before you create the content.
And
it's very serious.
I know, Moses, let me tell you, that's a question. I mean, a friend of mine even keeps asking, who is your audience? It's a question I don't like answering. Let me just be honest. But you have to consider the audience. Well, but even as you consider the audience, you set the matrix yourself. Because once the content is out there, you have no control over what this content will do or achieve.
Okay.
And why I'm saying this, sometimes there's the primary goal of content. I can sit to write jokes. The essence is to entertain, to inspire, and such. That's the primary function. However, this content may acquire a secondary function. It can end up educating someone.
Yes.
So, as you consider the audience, roughly, I want to be honest, consider in terms of how will you communicate.
Okay.
But there are things, I'm sorry, I don't want to use the word second, but there are things you're like, no. If you find someone in the audience who has very strong views about how content should be, that's a content creator.
Your view. Let me get your view.
Yes,
Martin.
please.
Did that statement come from people? Because when you say, who is your target audience? So that you now begin to think about the audience so that you create what they like.
Yes.
And does that take away values? Does that take away creativity? Does that take away passion?
It blocks. It can. And then it stops your content from being transformative.
Number two, can you just create content and the audience will form? Because really,
yes,
the fact that you have an interest in a certain area is evidence that there are people who have an interest in a certain area. I mean, those two school of thoughts.
You can. What we say now, we're saying, like we have opened a mall, we all have different opinions. I am for this one, that you can have an audience, you can have content that are not busy, and you can have an audience.
I want us to engage our audience now.
Please,
okay?
Thank you.
We're going to go for a break.
Thank you very much.
We'll pick any question that comes up and we shall answer it.
Yes.
So you please prepare your questions, send it, and we are ready to talk. Martin is here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Explore a world of knowledge at Elevation Bookshop. Dive into topics like marriage, money, and spiritual growth with our vast reading materials. But that's not all. We are thrilled to introduce new additions like stationeries, notebooks, modeling clay, dictionaries, pencils, kamusi, and more. And calling all students, gear up for success with our back-to-school items, providing you with everything you need to excel in every subject. At Elevation Bookshop, we're here to assist you in finding the perfect resources for your journey. Do you have specific preferences or looking for something special? Visit us at Kenya Cinema Plaza, mezzanine floor, or contact us on 0748 902 225. Elevation Bookshop. Enrich your life.
Welcome back. This is the home stretch, and we are talking about the craft of creating transformative content. And I tell you, Martin has, has really put it very practical. I like your practical approach, Martin.
Thank you, Master.
I really do, because sometimes it looks like rocket science. It's a science, yes, but it is doable.
Thank you. Yes,
I think that aspect of ability, it's doable, is very important for us. And as we begin to close, as we begin to look down, and I want you to speak to individuals now, because remember, for us, even in Elevate, we don't just want to create.
No.
We want to be able to speak directly to someone. I want you to talk to somebody, and this person thinks like this: my content is not being received, and the fact is not being followed.
Yeah,
it's not being followed. So I don't have followers. I'm creating, but I don't have followers. Am I a failure?
No.
And I want you to talk to them.
Thank you. Actually, that's a very good. First of all, you're called to be a content creator. Be ready for the long game. It's a marathon.
Be ready for the long game.
Yes. And focus on building a body of work. So instead of getting hung up on that, before we went on the break, we said content may have a secondary function.
Yes.
So create something else. So when you talked about creating, the craft of creating and evaluating, the moment you as the creator, content creator, say this is good and it is gone, please let it go. Let's stop in these things of sensitive artists and focus on your next project. You never know which piece of content will hit. And when people see consistency, it might come back.
Do you know what you've just said is very, my mind works like that.
Yes, please.
It came about, I've just remembered something, just a flash.
Yeah.
Keep on creating.
Yes.
You never know the one that will break out. And when you look at some of the authors who've written some books, I was reading a book the other day, and the author said he had written books. So he just wrote this one. He just wrote, and he wrote, because he's supposed to write. That's what he's supposed to do.
He's called to write?
Only to get a mail back.
Yes.
When he went to the mail, the next thing, mails were full. The next thing, calls. The next thing, come. Now it became his flagship, that book. But people don't remember there were like 20 books back before.
It happens. Even
it's just like a song.
It is true. Yeah. And you know something? We can learn from the story of Joseph. You can be creating content that is for the future.
Wow. I need to really, it's amazing. Hey, main call Okothia, where can one learn online or physical content creating? Martin, Moses Okoth will answer that to you today. You're going to get that.
Yes.
create content for the future?
You can actually be, as you're creating it, you don't know it's for the future. So as you just see a story whining that it's not being followed, it's set for another period. But so obey. Let's also say, as we consider the success of the content, followers, fame, money, and such, there is success for you that you have finished something. Because you have to be a good steward.
Amazing.
God
There is
has given
success
you-
in finishing.
Yes. And the person, we say transformative content has to transform you.
Let's begin with you.
Yes, ask yourself, who have I become as I finish this project?
Amen.
Yes.
Amazing. I mean, I want you to talk into this thing of followers and celebrity. You know, I have. You know, today we brag of how many followers.
Oh, I feel.
And the problem, I remember, and this moved me,
Yes.
Martin. I have to say this.
Please.
A very senior person in politics
Yes.
is a lawyer, is a politician, a member of parliament then. He was a member of parliament then. And I don't know what somebody said to him. He said, I have 1 million followers. What are you telling me? That was his statement. I can pick it up for you.
It's sad. Sorry. There's something I told you. We, first of all, now this is spiritual. That celebrity thing is it's not a nice spirit. It's almost like idol worship. And now the thing about followers, we can look at it at a basic level of now that you don't even know all those people, just consider it as a polite way of connecting online. There are people we say they are friends, but that's how you say, but you know deep down, maybe they are not friends, you're being polite. However, let's not get obsessed with this. And even if you have all those followers, I think you have a duty, like I said. Don't allow to be the only creator there. Give value to their lives, please.
Let's answer Okoth.
Please. Yes, please.
He's asking if is there somewhere I can learn or online or physical content creation?
Thank you. I wish Okoth was specific whether he wants to write and such. But Google, Okoth, I'll tell you, Google, YouTube.
Uncle Google.
Oh, those are free universities. Now, maybe later I'll share links. If it is blogging, just go and search the people who have been writing on blogging. Okoth, so read blogs, a YouTube video. But even as you do that, ask yourself what resonates with you. Don't just copy and paste.
I'll be asking you a question because I always ask anybody who sits there.
Yes, please.
I'll ask that later.
Yes.
I want you, because we are going. Time is up.
Yes, please.
I want you in a quick flash. What would destroy rather good content? What would make good content, or rather good content? What would make it? What would destroy it, or what would interfere with what was rather good content?
Yeah.
And it ends up not being good content.
Wow, Moses, that's a deep, it's a very deep question that goes even to, let's go to those guys who are paid to deny that Jesus rose from there. And then you'll understand that there are forces that are out to pervert good content.
So already content was started even in the Jesus days.
Yes.
Deny that is
deny they were paid. And that's why we say there are only two things there. Yes, no. There's content that gives life. There's content that leads to death. Now, I believe, let's say now, practically today, don't micromanage your content. Let's speak it for yourself. It's transformative, it will transform lives. And they even say this. If it's good content and people are trying to pervert it, it will be vindicated. You heard there are these stories now of people talking about what happened during COVID.
Yeah.
So it's for over 4 years. So the truth eventually comes out.
Wow.
And there's nothing sweeter than that vindication, and you have nothing to do with it.
Talk to me about this person that is good in content, but they are shy to bring it out. Today I want you to minister to someone.
Moses, are you targeting me? Now, I guess it's always good to, like you talked about the craft of content, get to know all those things about these different stages. If I go to the book, like there's the writing, revising, editing, book distribution and marketing. You're not supposed to do all those things. Now, that's one. You can hire someone to do it for you. I'm always going for hire a professional let hire professionals to do work for you.
I'm coming there because
Thank you.
I'll ask you the place of that professional.
Yes. Then maybe you're called to get to know why, we talked about values. You notice people are very quick to jump to cameras, to publicity and such. I guess it's good to ask yourself why.
Why?
Apart from you sort of selling yourself, selling your products and services, what is this story that you have? What is this product or service? And it's not always about selling and it's not always about selling and marketing. So I believe in get to know your area.
Okay.
And know when to
that's
have
very
professional.
important. Get to know your area.
And yeah,
So
that's
that
why
you
God gives us
focus on
different
that
gifts.
area.
Yeah, God gives us different gifts so that as we work, we are fellowshipping.
The other thing I want to ask you, the place of those professionals or mentors.
Yes.
What is the place in that building up of a content creator?
A mentor. Now,
Or maybe a professional, like you're saying.
Yes. The content creator, you need to have a system to evaluate who is a good mentor, who to work with. I have had stories, now that I'm involved in a project, it's a good project, maybe I can mention, it's called COCARE.
Okay.
It's run by the DVC SIU in conjunction with the Churchill. They're mentoring young creatives.
Oh.
So they have hired they have hired creatives to train and mentor other creatives. It's revolutionary, by the way.
Wow.
Teaching them on all those things that bother young people, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, registering a business, branding. Yes. So one of the things that is key there, how do you evaluate a mentor? Because in the streets of Nairobi out here, there are people who are charging money to mentor people.
Yes.
And
Charging money to mentor people.
And there are people who, for lack of a better word, they're just waiting to cannibalize your work. Because I know you respect me, you come to me, Moses, and now the first thing I do is to convince you that your content is not good. Then I steal it away because I can see the possibilities.
So we are people who are cannibalizing people's work.
Yes,
so
yes, control.
What is how do you, or maybe let me ask you now, the question
Yes,
I
please.
always ask people who sit here.
Yes.
Are you available to mentor and
Yes.
to be part of somebody's growth and increase of their content?
Yes, I do. Actually, I've been doing that quietly. I do. And, well, I'll have classes to train. It's official. But I do it. I'm like 2 minutes here, then program and such. I do even when I teach. Sometimes I meet people who are creative.
Will call us.
Yes, please.
Viewers will call us.
Yeah.
And of course, I can't give them your number.
Okay.
But I will ask
I'm
you
online.
to call them.
Please, it
But
would be
then,
nice.
you will give us your links, and
Yes,
also
yes,
somebody
yes,
can
yes.
just contact you directly. We are about to close.
Yes.
And I want you to pick up something that you feel we have left out, and just bring it out in a minute.
Wow. I thank you. It is a lot to talk about content storytelling.
You're a storyteller, so gauge your stories.
I should say the mentorship is ministry, so I'm available to talk about that. I feel like we are in a unique situation in Kenya, and we should not look at our small situation here that we might not. We could be here and we can impact other places, Hollywood and other places.
Okay.
So we need to have that confidence.
All right.
And so let's go for it, and let's be patient.
Give me something about Martin. Where are your blogs? Give us a.
I have a blog, martinmburu.com.
martinmburu.com.
Yeah, I write Christian fiction poetry. I think starting this season now, I'm going to resume. I've been on a break like for 2 years. I'm on Facebook.
You're on Facebook.
Martin Peter Mburu.
Martin Peter Mburu.
I'm on LinkedIn and I'm on Twitter.
You're on Facebook, Martin Peter Mburu. You're on LinkedIn.
Yes, Martin Peter Mburu.
Martin Peter Mburu, and
I think Martin Peter Mburu 777 on Twitter.
On Twitter, X.
On Twitter, yes.
Yes,
on
Martin,
X. Oh, on X. Sorry,
yes, Martin.
Peter
Mburu,
Mburu, I think. Yeah, I'll share
777.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, please.
Because with those social links, somebody can get in touch with you, and you'll be able to get back to them immediately.
Yes.
Your email?
Yes, I'm on email. mtnmburu gmail.com.
mtnmburu at gmail.com.
And then, so that even for some, I might even have to refer, they'll be put on the waiting list for that COCARE training.
Yes.
Which
that
is
COCARE training, because
yes, it's called
and I want
COCARE.
you to talk about it in a minute, just in a quick minute.
Okay, so let me mention a name. Professor Amos Njogona, he's a friend, he's the DVC transformation learning, research and teaching at USIU.
Wow.
So we are friends. Okay. So I'd taken a break from teaching. So one day we meet and we were walking, and he asked me, Martin, what have you been up to? What are you doing? I tell him, this is what I'm doing. And tell me, there's a group of guys I want you to meet, because what you have been doing connects with what I'm doing. He tells me to apply. I become a consultant trainer. So he did a research. He's very passionate about getting jobs for young people. So he went out there and found what are these challenges young creatives face.
He's going to be sitting here in a few days.
Oh, thank you. You should, by the way. He's very passionate about, and he has done very many projects on empowering young people.
Yes.
Then from that research, he got a fund to the interventions. It's from there that he was able to design a program and the manual.
All right.
So he finished the first phase, and he's looking for funding for another phase. So there will be others.
Basically, training creatives.
Training creatives, all manner of creatives.
Wow.
It's amazing because even the people who are training are creatives.
Wow, it's amazing to hear you. Let me tell you, Martin.
And that for me,
I can
success.
sit here and listen and listen and
thank
listen
you.
and listen.
Thank you.
But time fails us.
I
want you
appreciate
to know we are so grateful that you came to Elevate today.
Thank you. Anytime.
And in your busy schedule. I know right now as you leave here, you're going to class.
I'm going to class.
That's why I cannot even keep you another minute.
I appreciate.
And we really said, our Elevate appreciates you.
Thank you
We
very
are
much.
really honored to have you here.
Thank
Remember, this is not going to be your first. This is your first time, but it's going to be many times.
I look forward. Oh,
of
thank you.
Mr.
It's a new beginning. I prayed about that. It's ministry to talk
Yeah.
about this freedom we have received, freedom we give. I really appreciate.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
We
you
really
very much,
appreciate
Moses. Thank you very
All
much.
right. That's all we could have for you today. Please remember to keep following, listen over this matter over and over again, and you'll be able to get the gist of the matter. God bless you. Have yourself a wonderful day, and remember to